Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I'm going to talk about signs you've won against that narcissist. A lot of times you don't even realize that you've won against the narcissist. You may have thought that the narcissist moved on, they're happily ever after. But here are signs that you are the one who has actually won against the narcissist. Number one sign, you're no longer thinking about them as much. Or, they don't affect you as much. You've got things going on in your life. Your life is moving forward. That's one of the biggest signs that you've won against the narcissist, is that now you're not obsessing over them the way you did when you first broke up with the narcissist. See, when you first break up with the narcissist, it could be traumatizing because you don't even know what just happened. You could have been discarded coldly. You thought this person really cared about you. Then you find out all these other things come to the surface, how the narcissist was living a secret life, or the narcissist was lying and gaslighting you. Then you realize and you research and you learn about narcissism and you say, oh my goodness, I was dealing with a really narcissistic, toxic person. So initially you're going to be in the shock phase when you first break up with the narcissist. But as time goes by, all right, time is how you heal. So as time goes by and you start to live your life and you get busy in your own life, you're going to be thinking about the narcissist less and less and less. And the other thing, too, is when you start to see who the narcissist really is, they really aren't who you thought they were. They're going to become less important to you. You're no longer going to look at them in a godly state like you did in the beginning during the love bombing stage, because now you're realizing this person is not who I thought they were, okay? So you're winning when you're able to not think about them as much, and it takes time. There's no easy way to get over something that you went through, the abuse you went through with a narcissist, because narcissists put you through a lot. They exhaust you. They totally give you cognitive dissonance, where they give you brain fog because you see one version of the narcissist, the loving version of the narcissist, and then at the end of the relationship, you see a monster. You see an evil person, all right? And you have to work it out in your mind in order to see them clearly and realize that this person wasn't this loving person that you thought they were, that they were toxic, their intent was not good, they weren't in the relationship for the reasons that you were in the relationship, and they totally deceived you, all right? So, and that's all going to, that's going to really throw you for a loop when you first come out of that relationship. But like I said before, in time, as your mind processes everything, all right? It's like when somebody dies. A lot of times when somebody dies, people don't necessarily grieve right away. They're in shock. And that's what happens a lot of times when you're discarded by a narcissist or you leave a narcissistic relationship. You're in shock, okay? You have to now process that shock. And then later on, you grieve. Then after you grieve, you start coming up, all right? So it's like you ride a wave, all right? And you have to ride that wave. But eventually, after you ride that wave, you come to a point where you get over it and you realize that, you know what? I got played. You have to accept the fact that you may have gotten played by this person, all right? Because you either ignored the red flags or you didn't know the red flags. So, but after you process, you do all this processing and you work it out in your mind, you come to a place where you realize that the narcissist ain't shit, okay? To put it bluntly, they aren't anything that's worth your time, because now you're moving forward in your life. You're focusing more on yourself and what you have to do and to how to improve your life. And the narcissist becomes less and less important. The more you get busy in your life, the more you have other things going on in your life, trust me when I tell you, the less you're going to be thinking about the narcissist. So when you get to that point where you're getting your life going again, and, you have things going on in your life that make you happy, that's when you're going to get to a point where you're not thinking about the narcissist as much. And that's a sign that you have won. All right. That is a definite sign that you have won, because you're not thinking about them as much, because now you're used to not having the narcissist around. And the funny thing is, when the narcissist decides to come back into your life, months, years later, you've built up your strength. And now you can easily close that door, and it doesn't affect you like if it were in the very beginning and the narcissist came back. Because when you break up with a narcissist, you're vulnerable at that time, all right? And this is where narcissists are stupid, because they wait. They wait in hopes that you get over whatever they did, and they feel they can walk back into your life. But what they don't realize is that the longer you go without the narcissist, the stronger you become. The more you get used to living without them, the more you educate yourself as to who they really are. And you see through that mask, right? So, you're going to get to a point where you're going to be in shock initially. You're going to grieve and be sad. Then you're going to start to come up, all right? You're going to go down low, hit rock bottom, and then you're going to come back up. And you're going to start getting involved in your own life, all right? So you're winning when you're not thinking about them and you're focusing more on your own life. Another sign that you're winning is you trust yourself and who you are. You don't care what the narcissist says about you or whether they smear you, all right? This is another thing that comes with time, you guys. I know this because I've lived through this. Initially, the narcissist has done a number on you where you doubt yourself, you doubt who you are. They try to break your self-esteem, okay? This is the narcissist's goal, to break your spirit, break your self-esteem, break your faith. But the more education you give yourself, the more you realize that, hey, the problem wasn't me. The problem was I was dealing with a toxic person. The more you're going to build up your self-confidence and trust yourself. And that makes you a stronger person. And this is how you win against the narcissist, because you don't waver as to whether you were at fault. All right. The narcissist wants you to think that you are always at fault. For every breakup a narcissist has, they want to put the onus, the shame on you that you did something wrong. But the more you educate yourself, the more you give yourself time, the more you process it in your brain, the stronger you become. And the more you realize that you can trust yourself, that you were just dealing with a toxic person. So you're winning when you're not thinking about them as much, and when you start to feel that you could trust yourself. You trust your gut, you trust your judgment, you know who the fuck you are, all right? Because you've hit rock bottom, and now, what did I say before? You're coming up now. You're coming up, and you're coming up stronger than ever, all right? Because these people, they will try to break you. They will try to get some people to even a point of suicide. And then with the proper education, the proper therapy, processing all of this, you will come back stronger than before. And I am living proof of this, okay? I had many narcissists who tried to break me in every which way, all right? And, it's not till you hit bottom that you come back stronger than ever. You come back like a tiger. You come back stronger than ever because you've educated yourself. You've, endured a lot of trauma, and you come back and you will not let anybody ever disrespect you again. That's a promise, okay? And that's how you know that you're winning, because now you know that you have more faith in yourself, and you have more trust in yourself. You become more confident. So when you become more confident, you trust yourself, trust your judgment. You're not thinking about them as much because you're thinking more about what you have to do for yourself to move your life forward. You are winning, all right? The other way that you know you're winning is that you're taking care of yourself with your self-care. You're taking care of your health. You're taking care of your career. You're taking care of your home. You're doing things that benefit you and benefit your life. You may be working out more. You may be going on walks for your health. You may be focusing in on your career to, excel in your career. You may be improving and renovating your home or moving to a better place to live. You're doing things that are positive in your life. Your self-care is what destroys the narcissist. They don't want you to do self-care. Narcissists hate when you even go to the gym. They don't want you to do anything that makes you a better person. That's why they'll always tell you to do the opposite. Oh, why do you need to go to the gym? You don't need to go to the gym. Oh, why are you going to the gym? What are you, cheating on me? Because it's not so much that. They don't want you to better yourself. So when you take care of yourself, you are winning, all right? You are winning against that narcissist because you're not letting them make you fall apart. A lot of victims of narcissistic abuse, after they've dealt with the narcissist, go into a deep depression and they don't take care of themselves. And they may have a hard time getting out of bed. They stay in their homes. They don't go out. They may overeat or they may not eat at all. They fall into a total pit of depression. You've got to come out of that pit of depression and you've got to say to yourself, you know what? I can't let this person break me. All right? I can't let this person break me because I didn't do anything wrong. I was a good person. I had a good heart. I had good intent. And I dealt with a demon. I dealt with somebody who was not a person of God, who had malintent, who was with me to use me for something. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let that person break me. Not today, Satan, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to take care of myself and do the best that I can for my life. That is how you win against that narcissist, okay? That is how you win against that narcissist, by being the best version of yourself, because they want to see you fail. They want to see you fall into depression. They want to see you taking antidepressant pills and be in a basket case. You know why? Because that makes them feel good in knowing that they mattered in your life. The minute that you don't let that narcissist matter in your life is the minute that you are winning, okay? That's just a fact. Don't let these people get in your head, all right? Always know who you're dealing with. You're dealing with toxic, all right? And they're going to sit there and they're going to smear you and they're going to talk about you and they're going to rip you up. But you know what? Who cares, all right? Who cares? Look at where it's coming from, all right? It's coming from toxic. So anything they say doesn't mean shit, all right? Always remember that. Always know who the fuck you are. And you got to come out of this devaluation that they made of you, because they've devalued you during that relationship, telling you, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Oh, you're a loser. Oh, you're this. They insult your looks. They insult this. They tell you you're crazy. You're a mental case. No, that's not the case. The case is you're toxic and you're trying to put me down and you're trying to devalue me. Not today, Satan, because I know who the fuck I am. And when you know who the fuck you are, that's when you're winning against that narcissist, okay? Because that means you will never let them disrespect you again, because you know who the fuck you are and you know that you're dealing with toxic. And when they try to pull those kind of underhanded, deceptions on you, you know to disengage and not to give them any attention whatsoever. All right. So you're showing the narc that you're better, all right? You're showing them you don't need them. And that's what destroys the narcissist. And that's where you're winning. When you show that narcissist you don't need them, that's when you're winning. But you don't have to get angry. You don't yell and scream, because that's showing a narcissist you still care, because you're getting heated. Your emotions are getting heated. And that takes enormous self-control not to, be reactive. But, you're more powerful with silence. People don't realize how powerful silence is. Okay, sometimes, the person that's the silent person is the most dangerous person in the room. And that's just a fact. And your silence sends a direct message to that narcissist that they don't matter. You don't even have to respond to the narcissist. You don't even have to respond to the narcissist because they don't matter. All right. That's when you know you are winning. All right. You have the internal strength to be on your own. All right. That's when you're winning. You also are winning. You're winning whether you're able to move on into another relationship and be happy, or whether you're just happy being on your own. You're winning. Okay. You're still able to live your life and be happy. That's when you know you are winning. Other signs that you know that you've won against the narcissist is that you see that the narcissist can't hold on to a relationship. They're always jumping around trying to find the next best thing. And this is what narcissists do. They go in a circle. They don't progress in their lives. They don't build a foundation with somebody and water that foundation and grow with that person, into later stages of life. That's why later stages of life, the narcissist is grasping for whoever's around so that they're not alone, because they didn't nurture the foundation of a relationship with somebody and had a loving partner later on in life. The narcissist is still jumping around later on in life, okay? So the other way you're going to know that you're winning is whether the narcissist hoovers. You're winning when that narcissist hoovers. You know that narcissist is hurting. When they come back and they hoover you and they're trying to get back with you, you know you're winning, all right? You know that you have something that they want. And they're not coming back because of love. They're coming back because they want to try to use you again. But you're winning when you don't give them a response. No response whatsoever to the narcissist. That's when you're winning. You're showing them you don't need them, all right? And you're also winning if you don't get hoovered, because then the narcissist knows they can't play with you. So when a narcissist doesn't hoover you at all, 99% of the time, it's because they know they can't play with you. They can't fuck with you. They know that nothing they could do is going to work on you, because you see right through them, all right? So they will stay away, especially if they know you're a strong person. They're going to stay away. There's always the possibility years down the road, because narcissists are ballsy, there's always the possibility that years down the road, they could pop up and just try you just to see, but they're going to stay away if they know that you're strong, all right? But even better, they don't try you, and, you're winning. You're winning when you're able to live your life and be happy, okay? You're winning when you could be happy and when you could appreciate what you have and who you are. Because a lot of people think that your life revolves around the narcissist. Your life does not revolve around a narcissist, all right? I'm going to speak from personal experience. Life for me is God first and my children second, okay? Because it's like this, God keeps you grounded, because today or tomorrow, anything could happen in life. But when you stay grounded in God, you stay on the right path. God is what gives you your strength more than man or humankind. God has given me my strength to go through what I've went through, all the trauma that I went through in my life, all right? So you're winning when you can stand on your own, when you can be happy and enjoy things in life. You can accept your situation for what it is and appreciate what you have. You have to look at your life and appreciate what you have, because what you have, you may not have tomorrow. Things can be taken from you at any time. Anytime, all right? You don't know what tomorrow brings. So you have to appreciate what you have today. And the last thing you need to do is be crying and weeping over a narcissist that did nothing for you. This person, ask yourself, what the fuck did they ever do for you? Maybe talk nicely to you. Maybe give you a few minutes of love and affection. A few minutes of love and affection. Big deal. Think of all the aggravation and pain this person gave you. Think about their malintent. Think about how they talk to you. All right? Think about how that narcissist talked to you, or how they dismissed you, or how they ignored you, or how they made you feel like you were nothing. All right? And you deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. And the minute that you realize that you deserve better than that is the minute that you are winning against the narcissist, okay? This is what you guys have to realize. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to process. And education and knowledge is your power, all right? Education and knowledge is your power. The more you educate yourself, the more powerful you become. Knowledge is power. Understand this. Education is power, because it makes you into a stronger individual when you understand who and what you were dealing with. The more you understand who that narcissist is, the more you will disdain them. The more you will not want to be bothered with them. The more you will realize that the problem wasn't you, the problem was them, okay? So that, you guys, is your key to realizing that you have won, all right? So let me recap the signs you've won. You're not thinking about them as much. You're consumed with your own life. You're busy in your own life. You trust yourself. You trust who you are. You don't doubt yourself, because one of the damages of narcissistic abuse is they leave you with self-doubt, where you're always questioning your judgment, all right, or your thoughts. But when you trust yourself again, you're winning. You're more self-confident now. You're taking care of yourself. You're not falling into that deep depression. You've come out of that, all right? You're showing the narc that you're better because you're living your best life, all right? You have your internal strength because you're grounded in God, all right? You don't need the narcissist. You lived your life before the narcissist, and you'll live your life after the narcissist. And guess what? You'll be just fine, all right? And even better, because you don't have somebody criticizing, judging you, or devaluing you, all right? And, you will sit there and your life will be on an even keel, going up and peaceful. Whereas the narcissist will be going in a circle with chaos, discord, okay? Sorry, it's very early and I'm tired. You guys, I don't get much sleep because of, my autistic son being up all the time. But their life will be going in a circle, okay? And going from relationship to relationship, never ever building any foundation or building anything for them to have later on in life, all right? They're going to have nothing later on in life, unless they have money, and then they'll just have people around them because they have money, all right? But generally, their bridges, they will burn those bridges, all right? And, whether they hoover you or not, you're still winning. But you're winning when you don't respond to them, because you're showing them that they don't matter. They have no longer an effect on you. You don't need the narcissist because you have other things going on in your life. You're winning, and this is the biggest one why you're winning, all right? You're winning when you're able to appreciate what you have, all right? Happiness is accepting what is and accepting what you have and being able to enjoy life. And a lot of people don't realize this, because a lot of people are always trying to get what they always want more and more and more and more and more in their life. And when you sit there and you're always trying to reach for more and more and more, you can never just sit down and smell the roses, right? You can never just be happy and peaceful and enjoy the things that you have, because you're always fighting for more and more and more, and you're not giving yourself that kind of tranquility and peace. So happiness is accepting what is and accepting what you have, okay? And a lot of people don't appreciate what they have till it's taken away. All right. You don't realize what you have till it's taken away. And I have seen that where, in my particular situation, dealing with the special needs kids, it's, as far as sleep, we don't get much sleep. Okay. So it's very difficult. And those are the little things in life, you guys, that you learn to appreciate. And I'm just using that as one example, but I'm just saying there's a lot more to this life than the narcissist. Trust me when I tell you, there's a lot more to this life than the narcissist. And you're winning when you realize that, and you realize that you're better than dealing with all this nonsense that you dealt with the narcissist. You're actually able to live your life, be happy, and you're not focused on them anymore, because you realize there's more to life than this toxic person that you were dealing with. I hope that helps you. I'm losing my voice. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, you guys, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist and you need clarity, check out the link in the bio. I have limited time, you guys, because they are just running me to the ground over here, okay? I'm just so tired. Also, check out my YouTube at The Game Exposed Podcast. Almost 7,000 videos. Everything's on my YouTube at The Game Exposed Podcast. Check out Facebook, The Game EXP 123. Back on Facebook, you guys, posting away. Instagram, The Game EXP 123, and TikTok, The Game Exposed. And have a great day.